Howdy, booktube. Wanted to tell you about a book haul I ran into today. Local bookstore. It's not one of the chains or anything. We have half price here in the suburb that I have, and that's the only one other than this little bookstore owned by a lady who's apparently been here longer than I've been in this town, which is about 4.5, 5 years. Anyway, so she has this real cool bookstore kind of tucked in a non-discrete shopping center, and they really had a pretty awesome selection. I'd only been in there about 3 or 4 times, and when I went in there, like looking for a book for kiddos, high school project or something like that, that she always seemed to have it, even if it was just one or two. Whereas I'd call half price and they wouldn't have it at this store. So amazingly enough, she had a pretty cool selection, but apparently she's going out of business, which is sad. I wish I'd have bought more from her, but I was buying more from Amazon, and I'd still was in the habit of going to half price and would forget about the store. But over the last year, I'd gone in there more because I'd become aware of her store. So anyway, she was going out of business, and part of what she was doing is offering teachers a discount. So I went in there and made a first pass and bought a few books and was rushed out of the store by the family. And I bought too many. But then as we were checking out, I didn't even get to all I went through was the sci-fi area. And then on the way out, we were checking out, I ran to the back and I was just kind of browsing around because the lines were long. And I saw a series that I really wanted and I got. So I'm going to show you that. And anyway, so she did all the books, basically $1 a piece. The series that I got was $2 a piece. And I've seen, I think that's a pretty good deal because I've seen it online for a little bit more. So anyways, let me walk up here and I'll show you what we got. So I'm going to try to do this flip around. Hopefully this will be all right. Pearl and Chewy. All right, guys. So first off is here's the series, the Aubrey Maturin series. I've started book 1 but haven't finished it. Excuse me. So anyway, those were $2 a piece. He had all in that series. They're like mint. I mean, they're pretty darn nice. So I was real happy to do that. It's a series that I'm planning on starting this year. So that was a good find. The next book is this T.H. White Book of Merlin, which I've heard Richardson Reeds and Donahue, Steve Donahue, talk about recently. So I was real pleased to find this one. The other ones, and like I say, there's a lot more books that I would like to have gotten, and maybe I'll go back because this sale she's having for the teachers runs through the 20th of this month. So here's just a Forgotten Realms book. I don't know if I'll ever read it. I'm not sure. I should have bought that one. Anyways, so I found this doll, author Landis, Camelot in Orbit. Started seeing a lot of these books over there, and I don't have the knowledge on who to get, what's great. So I kind of just looked at the cover and thought, in the title, I thought, well, that looks kind of interesting. So picked that up. Again, there were so many of these older, what looked like sci-fi books that I would love to have just, grabbed off the shelf, just hundreds of these, and I didn't know what to get. So, but I did pick up some Robert Silverberg. I've heard these talked about on BookTube. I don't know anything about any of these books. I've never read anything by them, but it's something I'd like to do this year. So I got The Seed of Earth, Beyond Control, which looks like it's just a compilation of stories edited by him. The Man in the Maze, Silent Invaders, Those Who Watch, Son of Man, and Stepsons of Terra. So all of those look like kind of fun, classic sci-fi that I'll give a try. The other ones is I've been really interested in reading some of the Moorcock well, I forget. I can't think of the name of his main guy that he has. But anyways, I grabbed everything by him because I figured it was probably worth grabbing, even though I don't know. I've never read anything by him. The Knight of the Swords, the Messiah at the End of the Time, the Rune Staff, Champion of Garathorn, the Eternal Champion, and the Bull and the Spear. And these are, you can tell that these are various editions or volumes in series, but I'd still like to give them a try. The next one is the Beowulf with Seamus Haney translation, which I've heard is good on this booktube channels. Picked up Vampire Lestat. This and the Interview with a Vampire were a couple books that I read that really kind of introduced me to like reading at all times. So I'd be walking around. I remember going to college and I was walking through, the campus there, and I'd have a book going because it was a long walk, and so I always have good memories of that. And I thought, well, it might be fun to reread those. I'm not a person that rereads a lot of books, but I may do that on this one, so I thought I'd give it a try. Picked up this Kidnapped by Robert Louis Stevenson. Thought that'd be a fun one. This one's Franz Kafka Metamorphosis. Again, I don't know much about this author or this book. I think it may have been mentioned in one of the channels I've watched here in the last year. So obviously it's a classic, but I've just never read it. So I'm going to give that a try. Talked about the T.H. White, but this next little box I found was sitting on the ground, and I wasn't sure when I saw it if this was part of the sale or not, because everything's kind of bandaged up, and I've obviously heard of this guy, but I don't think I've ever read anything by him. I have a couple of his books over there in my library that I bought last year, but I've just never read them. I think I have one. Anyways, this is what I got here, and I thought this was kind of a cool little find for $1 each. Let me flip this back around. All right, it's some sort of Edgar Rice box-o-fun. And it's got John Carter of Mars, Venus, Pellucidar series, Moon Trilogy, and a couple other ones here. And I'll go through them real quick. Try not to bore everybody to death. But also what's interesting in this box is obviously somebody sold them, is they have this pretty cool, not that you can't get this online, but somebody has a 5-page printout here of all the Edgar Rice books and the series and everything else. So I may just keep that as I try to find some of these. So here's the Burroughs books that I got. And I realized that I've probably been making everybody dizzy just now by swinging the camera around for the past 10 minutes or whatever this is. So apologize. Edgar Rice Burroughs, I'm a Barbarian. The Mad King. The Monster Men. Cool covers for sure. Monster Men, that looks cool. Next one is Return of Tarzan. Beyond the Farthest Star. Interesting. And these look like the Conan covers too. The artist who did those, not Ken Kelly, but y'all know his name. Did all the Conan stuff. So I should have unbandaged these prior, but this is the Moon Men and the Moon Maid. Next series is the Venus series, Pirates of Venus. What's that say? The Lost Something of Venus. Lost on Venus. Carson on Venus. And Escape on Venus. John Carter of Mars series. I don't know how many are in this series, but looks like there's maybe 11 or 12. So I got 6 of these. Or wait, I don't know if this is one or not. I don't know if this is a John Carter series or not. But anyways, so I got a nice little set of these. Warlord of Mars, The Maid of Mars, Arthuvia, Maid of Mars, Martian Tales, Chessmen of Mars, Swords of Mars, and Yana of Gathol, maybe. And then the last one is this series, which I've absolutely never heard of. And it looks to be a good 5, anywhere between 5 and 10 of these, or yeah, at least 8 to 10 of these. At the Earth's Core, 2 copies of that. Pellucidor, 2 copies of that. Tanar, 2 copies of that. Back to the Stone Age, Land of Terror, and Savage, Pellucidar. And these are all Ace books, it looks like. Like I say, I don't know much about these, obviously, and I don't know what year these came out in. I'm sure everybody else probably does, but I don't. But anyways, that was my book haul. I think probably altogether, I don't know, maybe $100 or something like that. But anyways, it was a good little find, I thought. And my to be read is right down here for this year, and that may change this year. So with these new books, so I guess we'll sign off. Chewy. Say peace out. Pearl. See you later. All right. Thanks, BookTube. I'll keep you updated as I read some of these maybe, and let you know what I think of them as a first-time reader of almost all of this. So talk to you soon, and have a good weekend.